Hey guys, Bromo Aaron here with just a quick check-in on the PTR. So the PTR is the player test realm for Heroes of the Storm, and right now a new balance patch that should be coming out in a week or so, is live, and also the newest hero, the Wizard, the person I've probably been waiting for the most out of all heroes, is live. So I just wanted to take a quick look and show off the Wizard here and their skills. So, and also sort of give my initial thoughts on what will probably be the general build for the Wizard. So first off, you have, obviously, first of all, if your trait is getting a takedown, will refresh the cooldown of all your abilities. A takedown is just you participating in the kill of any hero. So if you participate in the kill of any enemy hero, all your cooldowns are reset. Now the thing is, you kind of don't really have long cooldowns. Your magic missiles, which is your Q, is sort of going to be your main consistent damage. And it's just a Q. So how it works is it targets based on where your it tries to intersect wherever your targeting is. And so the further, so like if you really wanted to, you could shoot 3 straight if you wanted to target it really far out. Then there's your W, which is the Arcane Orb. So fire an orb that powers up as it travels, dealing 271 damage to the first enemy hit. The amount of damage dealt is increased the further it travels, up to 813 damage. Again, this is all scaled to level 20. And as you can see there, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's going to be a little hard to necessarily hit certain things that you want to. But the cool thing is, it'll be great for poking down, I think, from behind walls or buildings and such. Yep. Not quite. Anyway, and then her E, which right now looks very unimpressive, is her teleport. A very short range blink ability that is on only a 5-second cooldown. Again, your Arcane Orb is on a 10-second cooldown. That's definitely your most burst. But it is on a 10-second cooldown, which really isn't that long if you think about it. So I'm gonna show you before level 13, and I'll show you what I think is gonna be almost a must-have talent. Your blink kind of seems like all it's gonna be able to do is allow you to juke a handful of skill shots. Like, if you feel like Stitches is about to hook you, you juke out of the way. If you feel like you're about to get rooted by Arthas, juke out of the way. If you're stuck in a zombie wall, boom, you're out of the zombie wall. Things like that, it seems like that's how it's going to be. Or say, Falstad's shooting a Hinterland Blast. Not that anyone's going to be picking it anymore because it has a 2-minute cooldown. You could probably just boop or boop, and you'll dodge it. But anyway, so let's take a sort of look at what I think the general build is going to be for her. At level 1, I think Astral Presence is going to be the way to go. You use your abilities a lot, and it's kind of hard to tell right now, but you definitely will burn through your mana because of how much you use your abilities. They don't cost a ton, but they're very spammy, so you're constantly going to be using it. The only other thing I can think of is if you're going up against a lot of burst damage heroes, maybe like a Jaina or even a Zeratul, or just someone with a lot of single hit ability damage. Force Armor could work because basically your magic missiles damage an enemy hero and you gain a charge of spell block. So basically, if you hit an enemy hero, every time you cast this, you gain a stack of dampened magic, which is basically dampened magic, which is Stitch's ability, which blocks ability damage. But I think Astral Presence, so at level, what is this, 20, your mana regen is 4.86. So when you go below half mana, your mana regen will be almost 10 mana per second. And I think this will just alleviate any potential chances of you having mana problems. Now at level 4, there's a couple things. I from watching a stream and just playing around. I don't know that Triumvirate, because the problem is how big this ball gets. It seems like it's going to be easy for it to not go at least 80% of its base range. So I think S of Johann is probably going to be the way to go, mainly because it just gives you a little bit of crowd control. You'll be able to use this. It's essentially a knockback. I mean, it's basically a pull-in like Johanna's Condemn, but it doesn't necessarily stun. But what it will be able to do for you is stop certain stationary channeling, like ETC's Mosh Pit or Nazebo's, what's that thing called? Ravenous Spirit. So, I think S of Johann is going to be the way to go. At level 7, I feel like Zai's Vengeance, which is based on the legendary gem in Diablo, Zai's Stone of Vengeance. Arcane Orb does an additional 25% more damage to enemies far away, but will deal 25% less damage to enemies close up. I'm going to assume it means that... well, actually, let's test this. So, this means it does... What is it right now? 722... No, here we go. Whoop. 722? Is that what it does? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it does 813 right now at the furthest away. So, when you get this talent, you can do 858. You can do 1016. But close up, it now only does what? Oh. Yeah, so up close, like basically if you hit someone point blank, it doesn't do it. But I mean, realistically, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. Messing around with both alts are both very short cooldowns. Disintegrate just kind of seems like it's gonna be the way to go. Because with the knockback, I guess could be nice if you need a lot of peels. But it just seems like Disintegrate's gonna be go ahead and be the way to go. At level 13, I feel like Illusionist is going to be necessary, and basically what it does increase the range of teleport by 50%. And what this basically means now is you almost have Bolt of the Storm on a 5-second cooldown. And also, if you take more than 15% of your health at once, so say you get bursted down, it'll automatically refresh the cooldown. And this can happen basically once per cast. Level 16, I think, is probably going to be the most interesting one. So you could go Fireflies, which will increase the speed of magic missiles and it'll lower the cooldown by 1 second, which means you can just spam this sucker. Mirror Ball, which allows magic missile to fire 2 additional missiles. Arcane Orbit, Arcane will travel 25% further, doing up to 25% more damage. So basically it just adds some damage to that. But here's the thing, she's very squishy. And you've already teleported, you've already spec'd into a bigger teleport. So actually this might be even less than a blink. But it's pretty close. I feel like Diamond Skin is going to be the way to go because every time you teleport, you gain a 25% health shield. So effectively for 4 seconds, which basically means every 5 seconds you can shield yourself for, let's see, at this level it is about a 675 health shield. Level 20, I feel like there's 2 options here. I mean, Temporal Flux might be okay, but I feel like for the most part, your options are either going to be Talrosh's Elements, which means your abilities benefit 20% bonus damage as long as they're not cast twice in a row. So, like, basically, as long as you're alternating your skills, they'll all be doing 20% more damage. The other option is Arcane Pure Power, which allows you to basically cast Disintegrate not not unhindered, but allows you to cast Disintegrate without any form of like, it costs no mana. You can cast it as long as you want. The only problem is you're a sitting duck when you're casting Disintegrate. So this is probably only good if you know your team is going to protect you really well. And if you feel like when you've channeled Disintegrate, if you feel like the enemy teams allows you to get it off well, they don't get a chance to dive you very much, or again, you have a healer or a tank that you trust really well, you could probably go for that. But I think the safer way, and what I think, in my opinion, is going to be the best way to go, is Telrash's Element. So basically, you just get a flat 20% damage increase every time. So like Q, so now that's doing 350 instead of what? Instead of 292, and then boom, 1200 for that. And then of course there's now, you're doing 35 more damage. Or you're doing 6 more damage, as long as you're not stacking your R. But yeah, that's basically it. I think she's gonna work really well in like poke comps. I don't think she'll quite be able to carry damage-wise like a Kalthos. And I don't think she's quite as bursty as Jaina, because Jaina's skill shots, I think, are a little easier to land. But she's gonna be able to poke really well. So like, if you really want to focus on poking, so like, and also this will really help with maps like Towers of Doom or Dragonshire, where you have to basically, wherever you have to channel something, channel an objective. Cursed Hollow, she's just going to be able to constantly interrupt you. And I think that's really where she's going to get it from. And the thing is, she's going to be all over the place. I think she's going to be really hard to get your hands on her. Because even Disintegrate, like, look how far of a range that is. That's pretty well, like, you have to have some decent gap closing. And the other thing is, she has a blink, and especially after level 13, she's going to be able to be all over the place every 5 seconds, and she's going to be getting a shield. She's basically going to increase her health by 25% with this talent. So I think she's going to be really good. I don't know if she'll quite replace Jaina Kalthos. She's not going to have the crowd control of Jaina, and I don't think her damage will be... I don't think it'll be as reliable as Kalthos, in the sense that I don't think you'll be able to pick a target as well as Kalthos can. Or maybe spread damage as well as Kalthos can. But she's definitely going to put a hurting in team fights if you don't get to her. And so I think she's going to do really well on a team. I think she'd pair really well with a Raynor. Like a double tank comp with a healer and Raynor. I think her and Raynor would work really well together, because I just feel like they would be able to just wear the enemy down very quickly. And also they would just be able to poke you down so easily and just kite you really well. Because again, like, you know, she could do that, and she moves, and like, she really doesn't have to auto attack, so she's just doing that, and like, you're trying to get your hands on her, and she's just kind of constantly moving away every 5 seconds. I think Greybane's actually going to be really good at getting her, or countering her. Same with Zeratul once he gets, if you go Vorpal Blade, or if you go Shadows, the new Shadow Assault, which is only going to have a 45-second cooldown. Anyone that has a very good sticking ability. Or if you're a Patient Stitches, hooking her right after she teleports. So basically, people with strong gap closing or ability stick is going to be a real pain for her to deal with, because she doesn't really have any way to deal with it. Like, Jaina can ice block. Kalthos has his gigantic shield after 16. If you can get on top of her and stay on top of her, she's kind of just screwed. But yeah, so that's the wizard. I'm really excited for her to hit. I haven't used her in a game yet, but I was just familiarizing myself with her, and I think she's going to be pretty good. I like most of her talents. I think there's a decent amount of choice here, giving the right circumstances. But I think for solo queue, I think this build is going to be the way to go, because I think it's just going to allow you to not have to worry as much about whether or not your tank will pill for you or your healer will keep you alive. So again, just Astral Presence, increase mana regen while low on mana. Esso Johan, your Arcane Orb pulls enemies in, which is going to help with stationary channels. Actually, this should also probably stop Chen's brew. Zai's Vengeance, which basically your W does more damage from afar. Just giving you even better poke. Disintegrate, because again, you're all about poking, and it's pretty decent long range damage. And then 13 and 16 is where you're going to get a lot of her survivability. You can increase the range on her teleport, which is with the illusionist talent. And also, anytime you take 15% of your maximum health in damage or more, you automatically get another teleport, and that refreshes every 4 seconds. And then at 16, you get Diamond Skin, get a 25% health shield. And then at 20, just again to maximize your poke and effectiveness, you go ahead and go Telrash's Element. If you really feel like you can be trusted to stay still for more than 2.5 seconds and just channel Disintegrate for a long period of time, go ahead and get Arcane Pure Power. But I want to thank you guys for watching. This is just me theory crafting the wizard for Bromo Gaming. If you enjoyed the video, or if it helped you out, or if you just want to help us out, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.